And joining me now is Hanna Hopko. She's the chairwoman of Ukraine's Democracy in Action Conference, a former member of parliament and a leader of the Maidan protests in 2013. She was told that she is on a Russian kill list. She's also been on this program many times. Thank you very much, Hanna, for being with us again. President Zelensky, as you saw, addressed the U.S. Congress today. He asked for a lot, and he asked again for a no-fly zone. Our president responded by saying we're sending a lot more arms and a lot more money, but we are not going to participate in a no-fly zone. What is your reaction?
So, of course, it's really important, and I think it's a very progressive step today to provide us more military assistance. So I think it's really important to receive more, because within this 21 day of the full-scale escalation of the war, we have to keep in mind that it's already 2,947 days from the day Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014. And every day today, it's like for you Americans, it's a 9/11, but it's across the country in almost all cities. And today they attacked Mariupol again, and the plan of Putin to increase human life losses for us, just to make Ukraine, to push for some compromise. But this plan having more Stingers, anti-tank and anti-air missiles. So it will help Ukrainian army to continue a fight and winning the war. And actually, I would say that we are in the position with having more weaponry, more military assistance from you, that our victory is much closer, which is really important for the civilized nations, not just for us.
You sound more hopeful today than you have in the past.
Of course, because within this 21 day of full-scale escalation of war, so actually there are different signals. Even with the fighter jets from Poland, there are some delays or some unclear situation. And now we finally received a very clear messages that U.S. will provide us military assistance. This is what we need, because why resupply of Western military aid is important, also is essential, that Russia cannot impose peace terms or something like concessions from Ukrainian side. Never, because we learned within these 9 years of Russian aggression that no compromises. We do not trust and believe in any security guarantees, only victory. This is the way for restoration of territorial integrity and sovereignty of Ukraine. It's also important to punish Putin, and we demand the UN International Tribunal Court against Putin, and also a recovery plan or Marshall Plan for Ukraine. Yeah. I could say you that now I'm more optimistic, because this post-Putin world is now much closer than it used even 1 week ago. And post-Putin world, it's how to stop authoritarian regimes, how in a civilized nation to stop cyber attacks. And actually, it's how to avoid devastation globally and not to allow the war move further beyond the Ukrainian borders.
You make a good point about what Ukraine's going to need after the war, given how much devastation that the country has currently suffered. As you were talking, we were showing the video that President Zelensky showed to the U.S. Congress, and it was so powerful. In the beginning, it showed images of what it was like in Ukraine just a few weeks ago, and then it showed images of what it is like in Ukraine right now. Some of the more infamous images that we have seen, including the 6-year-old girl who died that paramedics tried to rescue, the family that died on the side of the road, the soldier saying goodbye to his toddler and the toddler not wanting to let go. Here is that image again. It's so hard to look at, but it was on purpose. It was meant to show the reality of what is happening on the ground in Ukraine, and not to sugarcoat it in any way, because President Zelensky wants help from the West. I want to ask you about negotiations right now, peace talks, potential peace talks. Sergei Lavrov of Russia, the foreign minister, said negotiations are going well. I don't know what that means from him. What have you heard from the Ukrainian side? Anything at all?
So in Ukraine, because my friends are in Kyiv, they are defending the capital. Another, my friends in eastern Ukraine also fighting Russian terrorists, I will say like this, because actually Putin is a war criminal. And for us, now we understand that Putin is afraid that his people who are very unhappy with American sanctions, with the EU sanctions, they are losing money, they are losing their future, and they don't want to be sitting in international tribunal together with Putin. So this is why Putin is afraid that one day his oligarchs decides to replace Putin, regime change. And now it's a time for Ukraine to talk seriously and to press Putin to implement UN General Assembly resolution, withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukrainian territory immediately, unconditionally. So this is the terms we would like to talk with Russians, and nothing like what Putin wants to see. This is why he's killing civilians in Ukraine. This is why he is attacking hospitals, maternity and children hospitals. This is why he wants us to weaken, because we are very for us, we are crying. Every time we are crying, seeing what you already demonstrate, because this is, how to say, the whole world have to see what's going on in Ukraine. This, how to say, this screaming of mothers when they lost their children. So it's about, as I mentioned, humanity. It's about dignity. Yeah. It's about human rights. So this is why Putin deserves international tribunal. So now our army demands victory. Our territorial defense demands victory. Our nation demands victory. So this is the only way for Putin to move from our territory, and actually, but it will not help him to survive, because punishment, this is the demand of justice.
Yeah. Hanna Hopko, thank you so much, as always, for joining us and for telling us what it is like in Ukraine. I know you're in Poland right now, but I know you're in touch with a lot of people who are still on the ground there. Hanna, thank you so much.
I'm planning to come back. Thank you so much, but I'm planning to come back. Actually, why more military assistance important? Because no more refugees. Refugees are back in home, because this is our home. I miss Kyiv. I miss my daughter, my husband, my guinea pig. So my guinea pig is not with us, but actually, and I want to to embrace all my team and everybody who lost. So this is, we have a vision for the future, for better Ukraine. So thank you for telling these stories for Americans.
Of course.